Hi everyone, this is the 10-minute portrait challenge, but it's Christmas time, so I'm not here live, so I've got a few pre-recorded videos that I'm gonna share with you daily so that I can chill out with my kids. Maybe I'll jump into the live chat because we do premieres and we can still chat, so I'd love you to interact, chat and leave comments, like and subscribe, use the hashtags I've put over here. These hashtags, if you're sharing on social media. Aiken doesn't have an account anywhere. This is Aiken, my son, and I asked Aiken, I was like, I'm doing all these live streams and I'm drawing a whole bunch of people that I think are interesting, and I was like, who do you think I should draw? And he was like, draw me. So we're going to draw Aiken, and I've got this set up just like my live streams. So here's my workspace. And I'm going to start with, I haven't even given any thought to this, but there are all these things on my desk. I'm going to start with this polychromos pencil, and we're going to do a 10-minute sketch and just go for it. So these will be a little different than the live stream sketches because I don't have you to interact with and leave comments, but I'd still love you to leave comments because then I can interact later. But maybe these are going to be a little bit more like my Patreon videos. Every month I do Patreon videos, which are instructional tutorials where I talk through my process, and I'll be able to do that a bit with these since I don't have anyone's comments to bounce off of. So drawing young folks without much of the evidence of the passage of time on their faces can be pretty challenging. Flawless features are always challenging. But this is interesting that we've got this cool perspective. That his head's tilted back, like the eyes are very high up in the head, a really interesting perspective. And the way I like to draw is basically just piecing things together by looking at it. So ideally, by looking a lot at the reference and taking care as we make our marks on the paper, we hopefully end up with something that may look a bit like the person that we're drawing. That's kind of the goal. Doesn't always work out, and sometimes that's fine. You can have really fun results without looking like the person who's in the reference. But yeah, in the spirit of these 10-minute portraits, keeping everything pretty loose and just going for it and kind of see what happens. It's been really wonderful all through the month of December, sketching together with you and seeing your work and results as well. It's something I've loved, and maybe if you're watching this after the fact, these will live on, and so it may not be December anymore, but you may still be sketching along, and I'd love you to tag me and use the hashtags I've put up on the screen. This is from our summer holiday this year at the Baltic Sea, and I had a few references which I thought would be interesting to work on. I actually made a YouTube video where I did a sketch of Aiken on a big rock on the beach here, so that also exists using found art supplies which I found on the beach. I wonder, I've got these brush pens over here, a watercolor palette. I may just start dropping in some color. I wonder if I go with this dark shadow area first, and just I've got this kind of purple, put this down, and a dark blue. I can't show you super well what I'm doing over here with my palette, but I can bring it in a bit. So this will be pretty limited. I won't use too many colors just to quickly get some sense of value and a bit of color. I know that I often like really muted palettes and natural ink or monochromatic sketches and stuff, and I know that when I show stuff to Aiken, he's really into vibrant color. So see if we can bring some vibrancy to this, see how we go, see how he likes it. And yeah, you can tag me on Instagram. I'm Dylan_Sara, and I'll show Aiken any sketches that you've done of him. I'm sure he'll think it's fun. Sometimes he has also sketched with us on the Tuesday portrait sketching sessions, and so he knows to some extent a bit what I get up to with all my online friends, all the sketching and the live streams and the stuff. So he'd probably appreciate seeing some of your sketches. So the pencil that I used was a polychromos pencil. It's cool because they don't they're not water soluble. They won't bleed out as you start putting wet media over it, which is convenient. So I'm pretty aware that this is nothing like the blue that I'm working from, but color is amazing and magical. I tend not to stick to the color in the reference a lot. Years of using natural ink and very limited palette has, in some way, I used to get really stuck with color, and I feel like using natural ink and not having many options really helped me. Like the restrictions of that like severely limited palette just got me to relax a bit with my use of color, I think. I've been really inspired by Ian Goldsmith and Thomas Golansky. Watched a live stream last night of Thomas, and Ian's doing all these incredible color studies, and maybe someday I shall endeavor and return to the realm of trying to put down color in a thoughtful and in a way that's kind of true to the reference, but for now I kind of enjoy being liberated a bit from the feeling of that being something that I have to do. Focusing more on shapes and values, and I'm going to grab another brush pen. We're going to make his face much warmer than it is. It's quite cool in the image here, but I've got something warm here already on the palette, so I'm going to put some of that down. It'll be a strong contrast to what's already there. There are some really warm looking areas. Oh, it's interesting. It looks so. I'm looking at reference on the iPad. I see up on the screen that it looks really different. You're seeing a much like warmer version. So just squeeze out. These brush pens are cool. You can squeeze out water, which like instantly dilutes the paint a bit. Some really interesting, a lot of interesting subtle things going on in the shadows and the colors and stuff. But it'd be something for exploration in a longer session, I guess. I hope this is not too intense. A darker, cold kind of red here. It's not really what we got on the nose, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. Running out of time, but it's this 10-minute challenge. So what can I do with the time I have left? I want some dark. It's got this reddish color here, but it's quite dark here under the hood. So I'll put something dark in here. And maybe now I'll just jump in again with the polychromos pencil, adding some contrast just in a couple areas. It's quite dark eyes, and just keeping it pretty sketchy. Wrap this up. That one was a bit kind of in the wrong place. You know, often, so many people, myself included, struggle a lot with sketching children, and I think practicing the same thing in that 10-minute time frame, this time constraint, this context that we've been working with this month, is also really a good opportunity just to dive into it. And maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. And if it doesn't work out, you've only spent 10 minutes sketching and it's okay. All right, so I hope everyone's enjoying their solstice celebrations wherever you are, whoever you're with, and Aiken, I hope you like this quick little sketch. Merry Christmas to you, my dear son. Aiken is 9 and draws sometimes, does a lot of other things, and is a wonderful human being, and I hope you like this, Aiken. And thanks everyone for drawing along. Now would be the moment where I'd usually look up and see what's going on in the chat. But it's not live, but I'd still love you to comment. Let me know how you went with this, how it is for you sketching young faces. Is there something I can quickly do to finish this? Yeah, let me know where you're joining from. Who is it? Who is watching this? Normally I get to say, hey, where are you joining from? What are you using? And all this stuff. And I'd still love to know. So feel free to get busy in the chat and the comments like you usually would, like I usually ask you to. And I guess that's about it for today. A bit cooler on camera here than how I'm seeing it, but can we get in a bit closer? Here we go. Quick sketch of Aiken. Thank you so much, Aiken. Thank you all of you for watching. I would love you to share your work with these hashtags down here, Drawing with Dylan and 10-minute portrait, and there'll be more of these daily 10-minute portraits coming up. And you can also watch the replays of all the last ones that we've done, because we've done so many now. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. See you next time.